Today's video, I'm going to show you guys how to catch big catfish. And when I say big catfish, I'm talking big catfish, 40 to 60 pound catfish. It is raining a bunch where I live at, and that doesn't happen very often. It's usually pretty dry here, but the river is up right now. I live on the river, separating Texas from Oklahoma. I literally live a quarter mile from the river. This river holds huge catfish. The TV shows where the guys are out noodling catfish actually is filmed just 15 miles from my house. This stuff is, these big catfish, they just moving up and down this river area. So since I was a teenager, we've gone out there chasing them. And we're not line fishing, and I'm dang sure not crawling in the water and sticking my hand in the hole to try to catch a catfish. So what I'm going to show you guys is how to fish with bungee cords. Now, you want to get this style of a bungee cord. You want a rubber bungee cord. Now, I like longer bungee cords. I got this one so it would fit in the screen to show you. But these big rubber bungee cords like truck drivers use, you want to get as long as you can get. The 2-foot ones are the absolute best. You can get them at Walmart. You can get them at probably any department store, Harbor Freight, stuff like that, Home Depot, Lowe's, stuff like that. So, you want a rubber bungee cord. Okay, the next thing you want is some trout line. And this is 300-pound just braided test material that they use for like trout lines. You're going to find it in any fishing section, stuff like that. It's also the same material you use for like string lines and construction. Same stuff will work. You're going to want a tent stake. You want a tent stake like this, not the little cheap aluminum ones that are bent. You want a solid tent stake like this. That's all you need other than hook and weight. So what we're going to do is we are going to take, and you're going to take a pair of pliers, and you're going to bend this shut, and you're going to bend the other part closed. You can see how I've got yellow paint. This is actually a reflective yellow paint because most of the time when we're catfishing, we're fishing at nighttime. So I painted it with reflective paint to where I can see it when I'm walking up and down the river, or if I set them and I'm in a john boat or a canoe or a kayak, something like that, I can see where they're at. So I paint it at the bottom, I loop my line through, and I tie a good knot that's going to hold it in place. Then I'm going to run my line. I like them about 6 foot long, depending what the water is. Where I fish at, that's about what I want. So about 4 foot down, I'm going to put a 1 ounce egg slip sinker. Put a knot in place to where it stays there. Come back another 2 feet. And I'm going to put some big heavy duty hooks on here. Now when I say heavy duty, these are all great big saltwater hooks. And I like to use a circle style hook. I have straightened out the cheap little trout line hooks many a time. I'm talking big catfish, guys. You'll get 80-pound flatheads come in on the setup. So what you're going to do is you're going to take this big hook and you're going to get a shad, a little hand-sized perch, or catch carp and cut them into chunks to where you have big chunks, and you're going to hook that big meat on here. Now you're not going to catch a bunch of little catfish doing this. You're just going to catch the big ones. So you take this, smack yourself in the head like I just did. You take this and you throw it in the water once you have it made. And you see, that's all it is. Just tie it into the bottom, slip sinker down about 4 feet, 2 feet from the end, great big circle hook. You're going to throw it in the water. Once you get it in the water, this is all painted, reflected to where you can see it. You're going to take a tent stake and you're just going to poke the tent stake through it and go it into the ground. Now you want to make sure you're not just in the sandy stuff. And if you are in the sandy stuff, just get a couple feet in the bank and angle it away from the water. The bungee cord has so much play that it's not going to pull this stake out. Something I like to do is I get caution tape, and I like the orange, but I can't find my roll. It wasn't in my bag. And I'll tie it onto my tent stake to where I can actually see my tent stake as well when I'm out there at nighttime trying to find them. And then this thing stays in the water, and I'll run 15-20 of them, and then I'll just go up and down the river checking them, adding fresh bait along as I need them. As I do that, you're going to hear the most god-awful splash you ever saw in your life. You're going to think a person fell in the water, and that's when these catfish hook. And when they grab that bait and they pull on it, it just yanks this bungee cord as hard as it can possibly yank, and they set their hook themselves. And they are there, they can't get anywhere, and they're going to fight it for a couple minutes, and then they're just going to stop. They're just going to lay up and give up. This method works, guys. So you've ran limb lines, you've ran stuff like that. You know how much room they take. You can see I carry these in my little tackle bag. I have a little bag like this. Has several of these trays in it. They don't take any room. They're clean. They don't have a bunch of stuff getting tangled up. They're not getting into anything else. They stay in this area just fine. And these things have been used since literally 1998, guys. This is the method to use for fishing for great big catfish. Make you some of these, throw them in the water with some big bait, get into a river where you know there's big catfish, and I promise you, you're going to catch some monsters. This is hands down the best way that I have ever used for catching big catfish. So I hope this helps, and we will see you guys in the next video.